Linden
good? I
Nabayan.
hope we're good. Testing test. Okay. Hi guys, my name is Lyndon. I'm a software developer, wedding videographer, and general Lumix enthusiast. This video is going to be pretty boring. If I don't get this video done tonight, I'm never going to do it, so I'm just going to hammer it out. It's midnight, by the way. It is midnight. This video is about third-party batteries. I'm going to talk about my battery choices for my Lumix cameras and power supply stories for my computers. Whatever, let's just get into it. We're going to start off with a story about me playing World of Warcraft way back in like 2005 or something.
So it's 2005, 2006 maybe. I'm running a 10-man Upper Blackrock Spire with my buddy Oliver, and we're in a group of 8 other strangers put together by my then stranger of a raid leader. Her name was Artie. So she gets this whole group together to help me get a tune for, I think, Molten Core or Blackwing Lair, I can't remember. Whatever you get a tune for in Upper Blackrock. And Yuki, at the second last encounter before the last boss, I hear a pop, like a big pop from back up behind my computer. And I actually see a fireball shoot out from the back, maybe like a 6-inch fireball, you know, singes the drywall behind it, and then black smoke. Obviously the computer's off at this point and won't turn back on. The power supply basically just exploded. Now this was a damn computer back then. I don't know, it was an Athlon XP computer, maybe just a random 350 or 400 watt power supply that came with the Antec case I was running. You know, back in those days, I don't know, the quality of power supplies might have not been up there. Whatever shipped with these cases basically is what you got. You rarely ever shopped around for power supplies specifically. If it wasn't in the case, come on Yuki, let's go. So I had to text or call Oliver, I can't remember what I did, but I had to contact Oliver and be like, hey, message the group because I'm one of 2 healers for this run and I can't log back in. My computer's dead. I had to head to Computer Boulevard, computer store back in the day that we had around, and I had to go buy a new power supply. So by the time I picked up a new power supply, got it back home, installed it, booted it back up again, would have been an hour or so later, the guild stopped the run. They didn't have another healer, and I was way too embarrassed to continue with that guild. When it comes to power, especially back then, other components in your PC pretty expensive. You don't want to mess around. That thing blows up. You could have taken out other components, could have taken out the motherboard, CPU, video card, whatever. Lesson learned, don't mess around with power delivery.
Lesson learned, right? Well, not quite. So when we get into videos and photos and cameras and whatever, it's really easy to start buying lenses or camera bodies. After a while, there's a transition to where you're okay spending a couple grand on media, maybe, you know, like SD cards or whatever. And then lights. Now you're spending on lights. Now you're spending on audio equipment. But the one thing I never really, I mean, I knew it was a good investment, but I didn't feel like it was. It wasn't exciting, was batteries. In the GH5, G9 era, I ended up picking up a bunch of Wasabis to supplement the 2 official Lumix batteries I had for the GH5 and the G9. And I can say the experience with those have been pretty good. Luckily, while I was using them in the first year, they held a charge. Nowadays, they actually are draining rather quickly. I'm actually using a Wasabi right now on the GH5, recording me here, and it's at 1 bar when it was like at 3 bars, maybe like 10 minutes ago. So not so good now, but pretty good back then. Move forward a year or 2 in the GH6 S5 era, BLK22 style batteries with the double terminals, backwards compatible with the older bodies. I ended up picking up a couple of new Lumixes. I ended up picking up a couple third-party BM Premium batteries. I don't regret picking up extra third-party ones for these newer cameras. These official Lumix BLK22 batteries are like $140 brand new. I think $139.99 Canadian. Spending like $700 on just batteries feels kinda, I know it's a good investment. I've bought 5 extra ones over the course of last year, and I'm planning to replace the rest of the BM Premium ones, but the BM Premium ones, even though they're not really holding a charge, and 2 have actually died on me, they've come in pretty clutch. I've been to a couple weddings where I have 2 hours worth of like locked off performances and speeches and toasts, where I've just completely like ran through all the Lumix batteries, where the 2 locked off cameras have your last 2 batteries in, and you know, a performance is going on or whatever, and you're on the last bar. And I had to count on these BM Premium batteries being in those camera bodies to be able to capture that stuff. So while I wouldn't recommend it, they are pretty good in a pinch. And I think they retail for like $20 each. So it really is a thing where you get what you pay for. So now that we've talked about my batteries. We're gonna wrap it up with another story. Okay, so this is story time again here. A couple weeks ago, the wife and I went to Niagara Falls, and we went for a week. So obviously I shut down all my computers here at home. And by the way, Niagara Falls was freaking awesome. It's nice. I've been there when I was a kid, and it was nice to be there as an adult, to be able to experience it as a grown person. But yeah, we got our wedding video delivered. Shoot, you guys are watching the wedding video. I got comments, I want to talk about it, but not in this video. This is gonna be about batteries. Okay, story time. Story time, I went to Niagara, turned off the computers, came home, story.
So I get home from Niagara. It was a great trip. First thing I do when I get home is I start booting up my PCs. Desktop PC, the workstation, or gaming PC, and then the NAS. But when I turn the NAS on, or hit the power switch, I hear an all too familiar snap, like toothpicks, like a bunch of toothpicks just snapping. And then I start to smell smoke, burning. Turns out the NAS won't boot up. So immediately I know, oh god, it's the power supply. If you guys have been watching, I don't know who the hell watches these videos, but I did a video about like making a DIY NAS made out of all my old parts. All the hard drives are brand new. It's like 60 terabytes of hard drives, but all the other parts were essentially hand-me-downs from myself, except for the power supply. The power supply was this really crappy, it was a thermal take, 600 or 750 watt thermal take that I got from my buddy Chris. And so now I'm worried. A, what did it ruin? Hopefully none of the hard drives. And B, shit, what should I be doing? Should I be maybe buying another crappy power supply? Or move the power supplies down the line of my other PCs? Take the TV PC power supply into the NAS, take the one from my gaming PC into the TV PC, which is essentially what I did. I ended up gutting all the power supplies out of the computers, moving it down the line essentially. Let's go, come on. Getting a better fitting power supply for the gaming PC. I won this contest on Instagram in November. I didn't really talk about it, but I won this contest, and I said I was gonna build a smaller form factor PC for my TV, because I didn't like the big case. It took up too much space. Brittany said it was an eyesore, and I didn't want to lie, so I did. I did buy a smaller case for it. Ended up buying a smaller motherboard for it, but the rest of the money I ended up putting into my gaming PC, moving those parts down, except for the power supply. I had this huge honkin' EVGA 1200 watt power supply, not made for smaller form factor PCs. So I kind of had to like shove the cables in, bend them in weird ways just to get them to fit. It would be nice to upgrade my gaming PC's power supply, one that fit the case better, and that supported the 12 volt ATX 5.0 version to be able to support newer GPUs. So that's what I did. I ended up picking up an MSI 1000 watt. I think it's manufactured by CWT now. Anybody knows power supplies, CWT, Superflower, and Seasonic are kind of the three big names for actually making power supplies. Everyone else is just reselling them. So the rating was relatively good for this MSI 1000 watt. It fit the enclosure within the case, and I decided to rock with that.
Lesson learned. I am never using garbage power supplies ever again, even for trash or like whatever, DIY Frankenstein PCs. Only decent power supplies, even if they're lower wattage, 600, 750 watt, 500 watt power supplies, whatever. They're gonna be from reputable brands, from reputable manufacturers. I'm still okay with using like third-party batteries as backup batteries, but future investment into batteries for these cameras are gonna be official batteries. I had to get this video out. Like, it's midnight here, and I've been sitting on this footage. If I didn't get this video made now, I was never gonna make it. And then weddings start, and I never get this done. So thanks for watching. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have wedding content coming up. If you're here for weddings, you're gonna get wedding stuff. If you're here for Lumix stuff, you might get a bit of Lumix stuff. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye. Bye. Let's go. Good girl. Let's go. That was nice. It's always nice to get out, if not for the exercise and for the socializing. Yuki gets to meet all sorts of dogs out here at the dog park.